Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk About Life with me, Kedra, and I have an amazing guest today, Mustafa Jones.
Hello.
Pardon me, you guys. I'm going to be transparent. It's a little warm in the studio, and I don't want my face to melt, so I'm going to bring my fan out.
It is hot in here. I had to take the sweater off before we started. It's hot.
No, it's definitely hot. Like I don't know what the AC situation is like, but clearly it's not a thing. You put my little fan on.
It's a nice day though, so maybe that's what it is. It's a
But
nice
they
day
could turn
outside.
the AC on. Okay. Can you feel something?
Oh, I'm good. I'm straight. I got the
you feel
sweater
good
off.
now?
I'm
Okay.
good. Yeah, I'm good.
All right, boom. So I wanted to bring Mustafa on. Full transparency, he is my cousin, but I wanted to bring him on because he has such an interesting story. Not only is he a teacher here in New York City, he is a Harlem native and has a very interesting and rich history growing up in Harlem. So being from Buffalo, New York, New Yorkers will never let you forget that. Even though I've been here almost 20 years, New Yorkers will never let you forget. If you didn't go to high school in New York, you're not from New York, which is fine because I read Buffalo anyway. But just saying.
I don't really know how true that is because how long have you been here now?
I moved here in 2010.
Yeah, you've been here for a long time. You've gone through the trials and tribulations
Facts.
of a New Yorker.
I'm not listening to them folks because I pay New York rent and a lot of them don't. So
Hello.
I'm not.
Hello.
You know what I mean? But yeah, but on the TikTok, like if you didn't go to high school in New York, and they're from New York, I'm from Buffalo, so I'm cool being from Buffalo. But I do say I'm a New Yorker and a Buffalonian.
They trolling. You
They
a New Yorker.
trolling.
You definitely earned your Harlem Night badge or Harlem Native badge, whatever you want to
Facts.
call it. You definitely earned that. You stamped.
Thanks.
Solidified from a real Harlem Night. I got you.
No, facts. Yeah, you know I only care about Harlem anyway. So
There you go.
All right, so talk to me about what it is to be an educator. A young Black man specifically being an educator is so important because I didn't have any Black teachers growing up. Did you have a lot or any?
No, I actually had a Black teacher in my middle school or elementary school, rather.
Okay.
I didn't have the opportunity to have her as a teacher, but she was in the school and she was very different than all the other teachers. I don't think it was like a race thing, but I just think it's like how she carried herself,
Right.
the message she was trying to get across to all of her students. Like you wanted to be in her class. Her name was Robin. She was
Okay.
a fourth grade teacher.
Shout out to Robin. What was her last name?
I'm not sure. You know,
Okay.
I grew up in the era of like public schools where you call teachers by their first name.
Really?
It's crazy. I don't know.
Now that I don't, growing up in Buffalo, we didn't do that. So I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, well, they call me Mr. Jones now at my school, and I
Right.
appreciate that because I think it's important to acknowledge your elders
Yeah,
as
facts.
such, especially with the gap age, like with me and my students. So I'm glad that they do it at the school that I currently work at. But yeah, growing up, it was very different in that sense.
What grade do you teach and what borough? And yeah, what grade and what borough? And it's public school, private, or charter?
So I work at a charter school. Shout outs to Community Partnership Charter. I work in Clinton Hills, Brooklyn. I'm a kindergarten teacher. And I just made my first full year anniversary at the school. So
I love that. This is
very happy
timely.
for that. And
Okay.
yeah, I've been teaching for over 6 years now, but
Wow.
been at this particular school for a year and I'm very much enjoying it.
Yeah, no, I love that. I remember when you started, but you said something interesting about Miss Robin. What was different about her as a teacher than the other teachers?
I just think it was like the culture aspect of how she not only carried herself, but her expectations from her class.
Yeah.
Like I think that she held not just the Black kids, but all her students to a high standard. And she wanted to let everybody know that they can do, they can basically achieve whatever it is that they put their minds to, and that the world is full of opportunities, and whatever it is that you want to do, as long as you put your full effort behind it, you can grasp that. And I think that that definitely like shed a light on like something that I wasn't really particularly what's the word I'm looking for? I wasn't exposed to any of that.
Right.
I didn't have the chance to have her as a teacher. So just to see how she was as a teacher and to see how much her students appreciated her as their fourth grade teacher, it just made me want to be a part of that.
It's crazy because I went to a Christian school that was very white, but there was we had a Black teacher one time, Mr. Brown, in the 6th grade. I really think his name was Mr. Brown. And I was in the 5th grade and I wanted to I wanted to be in his class so bad. But by the time I got to 6th grade, he was gone.
Yeah.
So like I can relate to that.
No, definitely. And I think going back to your first question, I think that's why I got into teaching. Like you said, you didn't have any black teachers growing up. It's very rare. I hear it all the time. It's very rare that you see a black man teaching kindergarten.
Right, facts.
At a public school, charter school, private school, whatever.
Yeah.
So I just feel like, that motivates me, that encourages me to continue to do what I'm doing and know that I'm doing things for the right reasons.
Facts, yeah. I would want my kids to have a black teacher too. So what inspired you to like get into education in the first place? Like, how did you get here?
Well, I've always worked with kids.
Yeah.
Like even growing up, like I would, babysit the kids on the street. Or I remember this one particular time where there was a kid on the block. I guess my mom knew his parents. They asked if I could teach him to, play basketball.
Yeah.
And I would take him out to the park on Saturdays and train him and, teach him fundamentals and stuff like that. So I feel like I always found myself working with kids. And then when I got out of college and I was looking for work, it just made sense that I fell into education and began my career there.
No, I love that. Can you and we're going to get to him in basketball in a second because there's a very specific reason as to why somebody would be like, "Hey, teach my son some basketball." We're going to get to that in a second. But can you just maybe share a moment in your teaching career that like you were like, all right, I think I'm making a difference? Because I feel like when me and you chat, you always are giving me like little stories. Is there a story? It's like, oh, like, wow, like me being here really matters.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I just think over this entire year in general, like this is the first year at this school where I had the full year. Last year I came in April, so I came like towards the tail end of the year. And that gave me the opportunity to see where kids were at that moment in time. But to see where kids start.
Yeah.
And to see all the progression that they made throughout the year, that's like the best feeling in the world. These kids couldn't come in and write their names.
Wow.
And now they're writing full sentences and they're able to pronunciate letters correctly and they're adding and subtracting numbers. And just like that makes me feel like on cloud 27. Yeah. Like forget cloud 9. Like I'm on cloud 1,000 at that point because it just that shows like the work that me and my co-teacher put in basically throughout the year. It shows that it's working and kids are learning and they're progressing and their parents see it, the other teachers in the school see it, the faculty, staff, they all see it. So it's just a good feeling. It makes me feel good and it makes me know that I'm doing the right thing. I'm
so proud of you because I couldn't imagine teaching kids that age anything besides sit down. Like, because how old was that? 5, 6?
Exactly.
Yeah, like exactly. That's
some coming at 4, turning 5.
Wow.
But like you said, it's not even just like from an academic standpoint, from a behavior standpoint, like kids coming in and not being able to make it through a day. I work at a charter school, so our days are very long. We start at 7:45, we end at 4:15. So
dang, 4:15.
It's a long 4 o'clock, but 4:15 is like when I can leave. So right. That's when the day is over. But yeah, I mean, some kids couldn't even make it throughout the entire day.
What do you mean? They would like fall asleep?
No, some will fall asleep. Some will have tantrums.
Same.
Others will cry majority of the afternoon.
Same. I'll be here too.
But now they're able to go through a full day, be able to work and do everything that we're asking them to do. And it's been amazing just to see, like I said, the progression that all of my students have made this year. And I think they're more prepared for first grade than they'll ever be. So
yeah, okay, okay. That makes me so happy. Like you kind of touched on it, but what do you think? You being a black man, like, how does that contribute to their success specifically? Because I feel like your class is majority black, right?
Definitely. So I work in an environment that is, I want to say fairly mixed. Mm-hmm. Like, I work near Pratt Institute, so we got a lot of college students in our area. There's gentrification, so there's a lot of people that have moved into the neighborhoods that may have not been there since the beginning, but you still have those staple Clinton Hill natives, born and raised in Brooklyn. We work across from Lafayette Gardens, which is a very, I don't want to say popular because we don't idolize Section 8 housing, but it was a very popular project in New York. Okay. And I think a lot of our students are from that area. So I think it's important to see somebody that looks like them in a position that I'm in. I think it'll allow them to open their horizons and let them know that they can do more than what they think that, they're limited to doing.
Yeah.
Due to their situation. So, just giving kids that hope and that motivation that they can do whatever it is that they want to do. That's all I want.
How is it working with the parents?
It's tricky.
Because I feel like now you're at an age, you're 28. Now you're at an age where the parents are probably younger than you sometimes, right?
Well, in this particular class that I have, I don't believe any of the parents are younger than me.
Okay, good.
They may be around the same age.
Okay.
But yeah, we're not. I don't think I'm dealing with anybody that's younger than me.
Okay.
But they are coming from some, uncomfortable situations, if you will. And it's tough because you can only do so much as a teacher. But I think knowing these students' backgrounds and where they come from, I think it allows you to give these students a little bit of gratitude when they tend to act out of character, or if they're just having a bad day and you notice that. I think it's just more so of just being there to be that supportive individual, because I feel like a lot of these kids, when they come to school, it's considered their safe haven because home is so crazy.
Right.
And there's a lot going on. So just making sure that you're there and being that for them at that particular moment in time is very important.
I know parents I hear that the parents can get a little crazy sometimes. Has anyone ever Mr. Jones, have you ever got that?
No, knock on. Do we have any wood in this studio? I'm gonna just knock on here. We
No, right,
knock on
facts.
wood. I haven't ran.
Has anybody gotten projects on you?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I think the worst situation that I've been through with a parent is a student losing a piece of clothing that they had at the school. I had a kid lose their school sweater. Mom was very upset. She came and she expressed, her emotions and feelings about.
How much is the school sweater?
I don't know. I offered to pay for it. I never ended up buying the sweater for the student.
$50, $100, $200?
Probably $30.
Okay.
$40.
And this kid lost it.
Kid lost it.
Because the kids,
five-year-old kid lost it.
Right, because 5-year-olds lose things. Right.
But as I said, throughout the year, this was a very important year for me because I feel like I really got the opportunity to get all the nicks and kinks out as far as what it is to be a kindergarten teacher. You know that kids are going to be, misplacing things, and they're not going to be on top of things as much. So those students, and you make sure that those students have everything that they need before they move on to the next place, because you just know kids' tendencies and what they tend to do. So I just feel like this year was important because, again, that may have happened in the beginning of the year and I wasn't aware of the fact that this kid might misplace things. But now in April, I know, hey, do you have your sweater? Do you have your hat? Do you have your I know to double check, triple check, make sure that everybody has what they need.
So growing up in Harlem, you obviously, where'd you go to I call it grammar school, but y'all say elementary school?
Yes.
Where'd you go to elementary school, high school, and college? So
I went to the same elementary school for middle school. It was a Manhattan School for Children. Shout out Manhattan School for Children. I went there from kindergarten to 8th grade. And then I went to Cardinal Hayes High School, which is an all-boys Catholic high school in the Bronx.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to the Bronx.
Shout out to the Bronx. Shout out to Cardinal Hayes High School. And once I graduated from Cardinal Hayes, I then went to Central Connecticut State for my undergraduate. And I graduated from there in 2018.
But you didn't just go to Cardinal Hayes. You were doing some cool thing. Tell the people what you were doing at Cardinal Hayes.
Okay,
well, it's a big deal.
It's cool. So I mean,
you got a scholarship.
I did. I got a scholarship to go there. I played basketball there.
Mm-hmm.
Was considered, not considered. I won the MVP for my freshman year team.
Thank you. You should brag a little bit because you should.
Won the MVP trophy for my freshman year team, most valuable player. And then I proceeded to play varsity for my sophomore, junior, and senior year there.
Which is a big deal because you don't do that like a sophomore, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think it was a big deal more so then, especially living in New York. I think that the Catholic League was very competitive at that time, and there was a lot of talent. So I think, I take a lot of pride. I didn't play as much as I may have wanted to, but definitely take a lot of pride in playing varsity as a sophomore. I think that's like you said, very high accolade. And
same, yeah.
So that was cool. And then obviously my junior and senior year, I got better. I developed, and I got a full athletic scholarship to go to Central Connecticut State.
And that's a very big deal because that's someone that is $90K in the hole right now. If you want to pay for my student loans, let me know. But this young man went to school for free
Absolutely.
on his academic scholarship because of his
Athletic, but it's cool.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, no,
and that's why
definitely.
that's what people were like, oh, help my kid learn how to play ball, and that was your little part-time job when you were in high school because you were so good at it, and
Definitely.
so you're still good at it because he
Appreciate
still plays and he gets a little aggressive.
Absolutely.
But he still has it in him. He hasn't lost it.
Nope.
But yeah, talk about the transition from high school playing ball to college and because you had to work really hard.
Yeah. Honestly, it was tough, but I think that if you're an athlete, I think the trials and tribulations that it comes from when it comes to transitioning from one level to the next.
Talk to us like we don't, because I really don't. I'm just like,
no, I mean,
yeah.
So even I can
deets.
even say from like middle school to high school, it was a transition, right? Like I feel like when every level you're on, you're considered the best player at that particular level. So
Right.
8th grade, I was considered maybe the best 8th grader at my school at that time. And then going to a high school, now you start all the way from the bottom again. Now you're the freshman that's coming in, and there's juniors and there's seniors and there's sophomores that are more experienced, they're better, they're stronger, they're faster, they're more skilled, their IQ is higher. So you have to like build yourself back up almost. Mm-hmm. Like you're starting from level 1 again. And then you go through all the levels again, and then you get to your senior year, and then you go back to your freshman year of college, and you're starting back over again. And you have to, again, build yourself back up. But I feel like I said, like not playing my sophomore year as much as I wanted to. I remember going to our first game my sophomore year, and we played Holy Cross High School in Queens. And I didn't get in the game. And we won. But I remember getting my dad's car and crying like a baby.
For real? Because you didn't play?
Crying.
Because you couldn't play?
Crying.
That's crazy.
Like
and y'all
baby.
won.
Like a baby.
And
we might have won by 20 points.
And you was crying because you didn't get to play.
And I was crying like a baby in the car because I didn't get in. I remember my dad might have said some slick shit too.
He said some slick shit.
He probably said some slick shit like, so you ain't get in, huh? Like he probably said
Why
something that took me so far over.
Yeah.
That I was just like, wow, like this is what this year is going to be. It's going to be a lot of sitting. It's going to be a lot of learning. It's going to be a lot of that. And I took it with the grain of salt that it was. It hurt, but again, it gave me the opportunity to learn and develop. And then when those guys left and it was my turn to jump in, I felt like I was prepared because I sat back and I watched for a year. I played behind some guys that ended up going and playing professionally themselves. So,
oh, wow.
I think that at that time, I didn't really see it. But looking back on it now, it helped me so much. Like I needed to like have that year to get beat up on and watch from the bench, and you know what I'm saying? Like it taught me so much. So I'm very much appreciative, maybe more so of those years that I didn't play, even in college, than I did when I was doing my thing. Yeah,
I remember when you went to college, it was such a big deal to play. We were so proud of you. Because that school's D1?
Yeah, it's a mid-major Division I school.
I didn't even know what that meant, but everyone just kept saying it, so I just kept saying it. I'm like, oh, it's a big deal. I don't know. Still don't know what that means.
So like Division I is like the highest level that you can play on. So it's Division I, Division II, Division III.
Okay.
But in Division I, there's mid-majors and then there's high majors.
Yeah.
So my school is considered a mid-major.
Okay.
A small market, small. We didn't play in like a huge conference. Mm-hmm. Now Elijah, he's my little brother.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, to give you context, he went to Boston College, which is in the ACC.
Yeah.
And that's a high major school.
Okay.
So, like it's different. It's levels. Like
it's levels. Okay.
We're here and they're up here.
Who specifically went into football because he was like, y'all not gonna sun me and talk about my brother the whole time, and I could do something too.
Yeah. He didn't really, and this takes nothing away from his basketball game, because I still think he's an athlete. Like we go to play basketball now, it's just like, bro, like you're just too athletic.
Yeah, he just be playing.
Yeah, you're just too athletic. But I don't think his game was always predicated off of that. And plus, he was just a better football player.
He just like playing.
Like,
did you play football too?
I did. I played football for 3 years.
Okay.
It was over. Once I got to high school, I was good.
What did you play in football? Like, what was your position?
I played I played, I guess, guard. That's like on the offensive line.
Okay.
Play a little bit of receiver.
That's when you like, they throw the ball to you and you like run? Oh, okay.
I played that a little bit, but they mainly had me like on the line. I wasn't good.
It wasn't. It was like
That
that's not for you.
That wasn't my sport.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna be. Well, you don't know this, but I thought I was gonna be Randy Moss. Randy Moss is this real tall wide receiver.
Oh,
he just run go routes. Like he just runs straight.
Yeah.
You throw the ball up to him.
He
He's
just
gonna
run.
catch it over you. He's gonna he's gonna run and score.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I had in my mind. But clearly, when I got there, I wasn't good enough for that.
Like it's not hitting.
They had me on the line. Like, well, you big, so
right.
I'm not. I'm skinny, but they was like, you big, so you just gonna block.
Right.
So,
that makes sense.
that's what I did.
So it's funny that you mentioned your dad because aside from like, growing up in Harlem and, with sports and like being a teacher, like you have very interesting parents.
Very.
So your mom model, like one of the first black models for like L'Oreal, was in like the Feria campaigns. If you remember back in the day, she was like doing L'Oreal before Beyonce, y'all. We love Beyonce, but I'm just saying my cousin was there before,
Before that,
like the first like black girl, which is a huge deal because, we from Buffalo, New York, very small town. She's not from LA or even the city, not we're fancy. And then your dad, who's your dad?
My dad was the DJ for Brand Nubian, which is a, I guess, iconic hip hop group from the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
He produced a lot of records for the group. And he's like a staple in hip hop, if you will.
And I could only imagine, like, I know they was feeling themselves, like DJ and model, they was feeling themselves bad. Like from New York, like they were, do you remember those years like growing up, like when they were like lit in their heydays? Because I know you were so young. You were like what, 4, 5, 6, 7?
If that. I think they experienced their heyday stuff like a little bit before I was born.
Okay.
I mean, my dad.
Well, they had to admit first. Yeah, it makes sense.
My dad is still lit to this day. He's still outside.
He is outside.
So, and like you said, he's been outside since then. So I feel like, pulling either of them and just asking them stories about back in the days and what partying was like and what going out was like. Man, I can sit here all day and tell you stories, but
no, give us a story. Like give us a little story.
All right. Well, I'll give you the infamous story.
Okay, give me the infamous story.
Love this story because so I was born in 96. So they had me in 96, and then I want to say around like 97, I was like 1 or 2. I want to say they split. They weren't together anymore. And I want to say I went to LA with my mom. My mom had like some type of gig in Los Angeles. And I was out there with her, and I was tripping.
He was being bad.
I was on my bad one. And like
middle child syndrome.
She was basically saying that like I was tripping because my father wasn't there.
Yeah.
Like I need my dad. Where's my dad? I want dad. Blah blah blah. So my dad got on a flight, and he came out to LA, and they went to see Lauryn Hill.
Oh, that's crazy.
Now, I don't.
That's crazy.
Like it's almost like seeing a unicorn for you to see Lauryn Hill in concert today. But like
Facts.
Doing the history and everything like that, I would have loved to seen Lauryn Hill in concert during her heyday when
she was showing up on time, or maybe she wasn't even on time.
No,
then.
she probably wasn't. But like I don't even need her to be on time. She could be an hour, 2 hours late to the set.
Just you show up.
What's the name of her first album?
Obviously, the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Imagine going to a Lauryn Hill concert when the miseducation of Lauryn Hill is at its peak. We're not talking about the best female hip hop album. We might be talking about one of the best hip hop albums in general.
Facts.
So you can imagine what that felt like to be a part of that experience.
Mm-hmm.
And then
that album is crazy.
Then they went and did what they did, and my brother came 9 months later.
Facts. That's so crazy. I didn't even know that your parents weren't together that whole time. Because like growing up, we're 7 years apart. We're 7 years apart. 7 years apart. I'm 35. 7 years apart.
7.
I only knew your dad. So like, obviously I'm a kid. I don't know all their business. But like, I thought your dad was Coolio. Because the hair, growing up in Buffalo, nobody had locks. So he would come with these long locks, like all the way down his back, Only other locks I saw was on Coolio. So I just couldn't. That's what I called him. Like, did he ever tell you that?
You might have. You might have told me that too.
Yeah, like but like it's so crazy because to this day I'm like, dang, like he really let me. Like, shout out to R.M.P. Coolio.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Rest in peace for sure. But it's like this man does not look like Coolio. It's like this.
I was about to say them braids was mad small. Facts, he had like the
facts, but that's why representation is important because he was the only black man that I saw. I had never saw a black man in real life with locks, so I only knew a Coolio. So that's why representation is important. No, but like your parents are so cool. Like even the pictures, like from back in the day, like I wish I could have been on a fly on the wall for all the messiness.
Yeah, it was a lot of that for sure. It was a lot of messiness going on, but. No, definitely. I think, and they're two like totally different people too. So like, it was nice to get.
What do you think their biggest differences are? Because I feel like they're both fun. They're both creative.
Oh yeah, they're both fun. They're both creative.
From your point of view, what are the differences?
So I'll say from a parent perspective, my mom is very more so like understanding,
chill.
And,
yeah.
Like, yeah, she's chill. Like you can't. She's not a killer, but don't push her, obviously. Like, you don't want to do something that's like too erratic where she's just like, I can't stand, but she's going to stand with you regardless.
Right. Yeah.
So I appreciate that from her. And then, although my dad is like probably the strictest individual I ever met in my life, I think I also needed that aspect in my life too.
Yeah.
Where it was just like, we can be friends when it's cool and everything is fine, but when it comes to that moment, it's like, all right, like, this is who I am and this is like who you are.
Right.
And, like, there has to be some sort of like respect level at that point. And he always demanded that. So, I appreciate that for him.
I love that. I also think it's really cool that, you grew up in a brownstone, in one of the like Convent Avenue, like one of the most like prestigious neighborhoods in Harlem, like very expensive, like well-to-do. Like, what was that like for you? Did your friends grow up in brownstones? Like, I
think I had one other friend that lived in a brownstone, and it happened to be like in my area.
Yeah.
I think I actually had two friends, but like, no, very much
like a full one. Not they had like an apartment in, but like the whole entire like 5-floor house.
Oh yeah, I was definitely in school bragging about the fact that I had a brownstone.
Did you brag about
living
that?
in apartment buildings and all that. Yeah, I was definitely at school popping that. Yeah, I was at school like, I got 5 floors. I live on the second floor, and the downstairs is where the kitchen's at, and I got something under there and under there, and my mom live above. Yeah, I was on that.
You had your own floor.
I was on that,
which is a big deal in New York. Like people like. It's not like, oh, go to the boys' room. It's go to the boys' floor.
Man, and when I got older too, oh man,
yeah.
It was over. I was throwing parties in there.
You was acting up like that? That's crazy.
Sidebar, and don't tell my mama I told y'all this.
I won't tell.
One time this summer the power was out, but we was still in there.
Y'all was still having a ball. I just remember it was a big couch. There. I remember being a big like red couch in the middle, and then both of y'all rooms on opposite side. Yep. And y'all just having a ball up there.
That was it. It was perfect. We had flat screens on every floor. We had
you did.
PlayStation, Xbox, whatever you want. We had computers.
Yeah.
Fish tanks.
Yeah.
Like it was so dope. And we used to always have the family over.
Yeah.
And do like barbecues and stuff. We had a backyard, so we used to do barbecues a lot.
Even having a backyard in New York is such a flex.
Oh yeah.
So some have a backyard.
But like, man, these New York backyards be so nasty, yo.
It's different, yeah. You gotta really,
you gotta keep it clean because
the mice are still gonna come.
Nah, not the mice.
The rats are still coming.
Mice.
That's facts. Yeah, the rats are still coming
out there. So
big.
Gotta keep it clean. You gotta keep it right because they'll definitely pop up on you.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how 3 million brownstone, 4 million. It don't matter how many millions it is. Them rats are coming.
Mm-hmm.
They don't discriminate.
They coming from the other spot that ain't that.
Exactly. And they congregate in your like nice little area.
I'm telling you.
So what was it like growing up in New York, in Harlem? Like what was it just like growing up there?
Honestly, I had the best experience growing up in Harlem. And I feel like it has a lot to do with the fact that my dad's name was like good. Mm-hmm. Like I never got into any trouble.
Yeah.
Like I was never put in situations where I was like in harm or anything like that. So like it was very like, and I played ball. So once I established a name for myself, like that made me feel even safer. Because Harlem can be a dangerous place at times. There's a lot that goes on.
It's so nice. They're like people running.
Nah, I heard stories of my friends getting robbed for their jackets. And
really?
getting put in different altercations. Like and Harlem could be a very dangerous place. I've known a lot of people, not like friends, but like, people that I know in neighborhoods that have died over gun violence and
Wow.
gang related stuff and stuff like that. Like it can definitely go left. So
Yeah.
I'm very much humble and appreciative that I didn't have to go through any of those things growing up as a kid, because I can't even imagine going through anything like that as a child, let alone an adult. I don't even know if I can do that as an adult, but
yeah,
as a child, I'm glad that I was sheltered and not really exposed to any of that stuff growing up.
Yeah, you definitely were a little sheltered. But that's good.
Yeah, I was about to say I'm not.
Yeah, no, that's in a good way.
Exactly.
Because I think about that too. Like, like when I have kids in New York, it's like I want them to be like insulated in that way. So it's like, yeah, you're exposed to all this culture, but I don't want you to be. You not gangbanging, you not powing. Like it's not. You know what I mean? So I think it was cool because you were exposed to it. You saw a lot, but you didn't have to be of it.
Yeah. I don't even know. I mean, clearly, I don't have any kids, but like, I can't think about kids right now. But if I were to think about kids, I don't know if I'll be thinking about raising them here.
You wouldn't raise them in New York?
I don't know.
Really?
So
why not?
tough. It's
Considering
so
like
tough.
how you said you had a great time growing up here, why wouldn't you want your kids to be in here?
Because I don't really know. Like, first off, it ain't like what it was when I once grew up.
It's not?
No. It's so much different. I feel like children are exposed to way more stuff than we were exposed to growing up.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like that was like the nature of just like the lack of like social media and stuff. When you have as much, I mean, obviously it grew as I got older, but yeah, I just feel like from an exposure standpoint, it's a very touchy situation, if you will. Like growing up in it, I know what it's like. I don't know if I'd be comfortable raising my son or my daughter in something like this. I don't know if I have control over it like my parents did.
Yeah. You mean because of social media?
I think social media plays a big part in it, but I don't know if it's just like that per se. Like I'm just like, again, like I don't really know how much control I have over like what is being exposed to my child at any particular time.
Do you think growing up in Harlem, there was a specific moment that like shaped you, that made you be like, oh wow, like I live in an insulated bubble? Like, did you ever see anything? What's that movie? Oh my gosh, what's that movie in LA when Ricky and
Boys in the Hood?
Did you have a Boys in the Hood moment?
No.
Where they was like, oh, let me show you. Like, did you have anything
like? Want to see a dead body?
Yeah,
nah.
Was there any like? You talk about like, unfortunately, like losing friends, like, and it's crazy. 'Cause I didn't know that you experienced that because that was so common in Buffalo. It's to the point now where I can't even. Sometimes I'll ask somebody about somebody. They'll be like, oh, they got killed, and I'm like, because I forget because it just was so common growing up when I started so young. So I didn't think that y'all really experienced that out here for real.
Oh, definitely, and it's like real random too.
Yeah,
like, I feel like majority of like the people that I know that I lost has been like older.
You had friends that you lost growing up, or people that you knew?
People that I knew.
Yeah.
Like I really won't go like as far as saying like friends, but like people that I knew, people that I care for. Like just because I know them don't mean I don't care for them. Like I care for them.
And so they were like shot?
Yeah.
Who was like, how, like, what do you mean? Like, give me an example. Like somebody from your school, someone from your neighborhood, somebody you played ball with, the park.
So I know somebody that I went to high school with. He was a couple years younger than I was. Mm-hmm. He played football and basketball. So his name was Delano, and he was from Cortland Houses, was in the Bronx. Mm-hmm. And apparently he jumped off the top of his building.
Oh, wow.
And like, will I say we were friends? Like, did we talk every day? Nah, but did I know him? Absolutely. Did I care for him? Absolutely. So like, it's like stuff like that. Like I know some friends that have gotten killed due to gun violence. Like I know this dude from Harlem. His name was Steph. They called him Steph West because he was real close with Shaq West. He was on the Mo Bamba song. Everybody mentioned him and stuff like that. But like I've known Steph since he was at Rice High School playing basketball, and I've known him through basketball and stuff like that. So like, he's just a well-known Harlem dude. Everybody knows, everybody loves. And he got caught in some gun violence stuff in Inwood one night. hanging out. So it's very random.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I mean, like, it happens.
Right.
I think that's the biggest point. It's like you think it can't happen because you know so many people and you feel safe wherever you're at and whatever the case may be, but it can go down.
And do you think if you raise your kids somewhere else, it'll be a little bit less hectic?
See, my whole thing about raising kids is that I feel like my situation has to be established correctly. Like, where I see myself living, I don't think I see myself living in the city all my life.
Where would you go?
Somewhere close.
What's close? Like, you would go, like, to Westchester, like, up top?
Maybe Westchester, maybe New Jersey, maybe...
Okay, you would go to Jersey?
Maybe not Jersey. I don't know about paying that toll.
You would go to Jersey?
I don't know about paying that toll every time. But Long Island, maybe.
Okay.
Like, somewhere on the outskirts. Like, I would love to own a home one day.
Yeah, facts.
You know, like the American dream, the white picket fence with the house and the dog. You know, like, everybody sees themselves living like that, I feel like.
And you want, like, a family.
Of course.
You want to, like, get married.
I want to get married. I want to have kids.
Yeah.
Like, but I know, like, in order for me to do that, my stuff has to be right first.
Yeah, you want your finances to be in order.
My situation has to be right.
Because your parents didn't get married.
My parents never got married.
So who was like your example of marriage that you think is cool?
My grandparents, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lost my grandmother in 2019, but they were married for like 50 years.
Wow, that's
like
crazy.
They're from the era where you get married at like 24.
Right, you stay married.
Exactly. And like seeing, and you know, it wasn't perfect. I've seen them argue before. I've seen stuff go left.
Yeah.
Were they ever going to leave each other? No. Like, did they ever see themselves being with other people while they were together? No.
Right.
Like, even when my grandmother was sick, my grandfather was by his side every single day.
Right.
So that's my influence as far as like seeing what it could potentially be.
I like that because I'll like talk to some guys and they'll be like, well, was your parents married? It's like, no, my grandparents were. So it's like, I like how you made that point. Like, it could skip a generation.
And we gotta bring that back.
No, facts.
Because honestly, we're losing all of our morals and our
talk about it.
Like traditions.
Talk about it.
Like, I feel like when like I'm thankful that my family still gets together, even though we've lost very important people in our families.
Facts.
Both sides.
Yeah.
I lost my grandmother, and I feel like that was a huge hit on my father's side.
Yeah.
When we lost her. Like, yeah, we were still together, but like something was missing. It's like you eat something and it's like, you know, it's missing an ingredient. Mm-hmm. And it's like, that's what my grandmother was to like that side of my family. Mm-hmm. And then when we lost my older brother on my mom's side, like, it's unfortunate, but I feel like it honestly brought us closer.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that we weren't a tight-knit family at that point, but I really feel like his loss enabled us to really get closer.
Yeah. Because we be vibing.
We vibe, and it's fun.
It is.
We like trying to plan trips and like do other stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that.
Play spades, have dinner.
It's different.
We together for Easter. We do. Yeah, no, I feel that. And I love how y'all still come together on your dad's side. And it's so funny too, because it's like, you know how with sides of the family, like you got your mom's side, your dad's side. Like his dad's side is like the bougie side. Like they sit down at a proper hour for dinner and they have a white cloth.
See, we don't do that anymore. When my grandmother was here, we was on that.
Y'all have a white cloth on that table.
Yeah.
Y'all have a white cloth on the table. Y'all have there's a carb, there's a protein, there's a veggie.
It's very balanced.
Everyone's at the table together eating.
Yep.
But then the mom's side, you coming in and out.
Yep.
Everyone
you get your plate, you go sit down, you talk, you chat.
You chat. It's BYOB.
Word. It's all
like it's different corners of people just chatting, coming in and out. So I think that's cool that you get. I think that's how it's supposed to be because you get the best of both worlds of like the families.
Yes.
I think that my mom's side of the family is like a little bit, well, both sides of my family is kind of like a little bougie, but I think my mom's side of the family is a little bit more like sit down, like how your dad's side is.
Right.
I think that I agree with him wholeheartedly, y'all. Like, we need to go back because I do feel like we lose out on traditions.
When grandmothers and grandfathers go, all that stuff goes out the door, and it's like, who's going to be the next person to pick up that baton? Because it clearly was following along up until our grandparents, and then as soon as our grandparents went, like I'm hearing stories now, like grandmothers want to be outside with their daughters now.
Facts.
Instead of being, and I'm not trying to marginalize or limit women, because I'm not on that, but
not you being PC.
I'm letting y'all know what it is, but it's like at the same time, like where's the tradition of Easter? When do we like who's getting the family together to go to church? Who's putting together the dinners and getting the family together so that we can spend time together? Like, because I always feel like holidays are just an excuse to get together with your family.
No, absolutely. That's why they'd be like, oh, Christmas is it's an excuse. Yes, we can get together all year round, but we don't. So that's what Christmas does, Thanksgiving does. But you know what's so funny is I think both of your parents do a good job at that. And that's why sometimes I be wondering why they not married. Because I feel like your dad doesn't play. He makes sure he's like, all right, Moose, we going up top. We having dinner. I feel like y'all be going to church sometimes. Sometimes, kind of, not anymore.
Not since my grandmother passed.
Okay, but he still makes sure y'all go up top, y'all sit, y'all have the dinner. He's very much like getting y'all together. And then your mom, she little big mama on this side, she be the one, she cooking greens and frying fish and chicken, and she getting us together on this side. So they both doing the same thing on the other side. They should just be married.
This is just a sidebar, yo. I'm so happy that they are not married, y'all. I'm so happy.
I'm the only one.
I think that they were happy once upon a time.
I'm the only one.
And I think that time has passed, y'all. And it's okay.
I'm the only one.
But the relationship has run its course.
With the delusion.
I'm actually happy, and I ain't gonna lie, I don't really even know where, because when my brother got drafted last year, my dad was acting a fool, and I don't know. Usually it's my mom that's acting a fool. So it was crazy how the roles just changed like that.
They have a balance because they balance each other out.
No. I'm telling you. I was happy at the fact that my mom, she'll still do that. If my mom put together something and I tell her that my dad's coming, she'll be like, whatever.
That's family.
But I do think that you know, it's cool that they're cordial. Let's just say that. I'm gonna just keep it at that. They're cordial, and like there was a point in time where they weren't cordial. So I'm happy that they're cordial now.
I'm the only delusional one in the family.
She's literally the only one. Nobody wants to see that movie again.
That's
Nobody.
Like, y'all could work. What's that Pretty Ricky song? Work it out. We could work. We could work it out.
It's not happening.
What's the song? Let's get married.
Oh my goodness, no.
We ain't getting no younger, girl. We might as well do it.
No. Keep them with
They would hate me.
They would. They would despise you.
I've been saying this to both of them.
Yeah, and you know they be
they're
looking
mad
at you like
hell, pissed.
They be looking at you like, yo, you're crazy. Bro.
Yeah, I said that one time. Your dad, he was grilling. I really feel like he put the grill on the thing on the grill. It was like, see, exactly. He was about to stab me with the fork.
I'm telling you.
No, it's okay. No, but I agree. I think family is like so important. Tradition is so important. And I do think it's something that we miss out on when folks are, you know, doing the baby mom, baby daddy things. If it ends up like that, okay. But I don't think we should go into it that way. I think we should go into it with all right, I'm financially good. I'm whole. You're financially good. You're whole. Come together, have the family. Like you said, the white picket fence.
That's it. Yeah,
I think that's
definitely.
the best way. Yeah.
That's the goal, man. I mean, honestly, like if it don't pan out like that, cool. But at the same time, and I'm a New Yorker forever, but I feel like there's more to it than just this. And this has been amazing. Like my run here in New York has been
not your run, like you about to move tomorrow.
No, yeah. I'm not moving tomorrow, but like honestly, I've been thinking about it.
But where would you go? Because I think about it too, but where would we go? I mean, I don't know, what is up top, like where your grandparents are, like, would you think you would be bored? Like after you get off of work, like.
No, I think they got spots up there that I can go to and just like, you know, have a good time and go home.
But look at this, like we really sit in like downtown, people watch it, like I don't know. I think that's my only thing about leaving New York. I'm like,
this ain't the place to raise a child. Like, this is what I'm saying.
I think the opposite. I think this is the perfect place to raise a child.
I live in Bushwick, right?
Uh-huh.
And I'm trying to go to sleep at night, and this is all I hear.
Okay, kids. Yeah. Right. What is that?
Alarm clock.
But you know, if you don't live in a house, or even if you live in a house, you can still hear
The
noises.
sanitation worker outside, he getting the trash at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
No, I need to be like in a secluded area where it's quiet.
So you wouldn't live in the real
Everybody
suburbs.
Yeah, I don't think I'll get bored, or I think I'll be able to, have a good time and then go back home.
If I had a family, it'd be cool. But I think not having the family, I'm worried because I'm like, dang, like at least out here in New York, there's like people. There's like what, 1 million people, 1 billion people. Not billion, but you know what
Probably
I mean.
$1 billion stacked on top of each. That's why you
But
hear
it's just
everything.
like if you go somewhere else, it's gonna be less people. Then you're just gonna be isolated by yourself.
Yeah,
It's
but
gonna
the
be me and
goal is
Savage,
to
my
not
cat.
be by yourself though.
But what if you go? So you wouldn't go out there until you're with someone. You wouldn't go out there.
I wouldn't go out there. No, if the price is right
You okay?
and
yeah.
I'm ready to move,
You will go.
oh, it's time to go.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Always if the price is right, for sure.
I feel like that's where I feel like I'm like not worried. I'm not worried
Facts.
about finding the right person right now because I don't feel like I'm in the position to like do what I want to do at this point in time. I feel like all that is going to happen at the right time.
Talk about dating in New York as a young man, as a young
Trash.
educated black man.
Trash.
Why is it trash?
Because all the baddies want a bad boy, and I'm not a bad boy.
Okay, so let's unpack this.
Okay.
Why are you trying to talk to baddies?
Because they are attractive.
But aren't there other young women who are attractive that aren't baddies?
Of course.
So I don't go over
And
there.
those have been the women that I've been dating.
Yeah, no, you have. Like I feel feel like with you, you do good every other one. It's like you be on the right path, and then the next one come up and like,
Hit, miss, hit, miss,
no,
hit,
facts. I'm like,
miss.
okay, I can see where we're going with this. And then it's the next one, and I'm so confused. I'm like, wait, no, we were doing so good.
See, because that'd be my problem, right? My problem is like, like you said, sometimes it's not always about like what you're like physically attracted to. Sometimes a girl just got her shit together and like you attracted to that. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, again, like if we can vibe and you got all your, I don't even want to say all your ducks in line because I don't got all my ducks in line, but like, you're working towards something.
Right.
It's not like you're stagnant. Like, you got stuff going on for yourself. You're not like, just waiting around, waiting for something to happen. Like,
I just know there are so many pretty girls in New York who have something going for themselves that would just be a perfect match for you.
send them my way.
But see, because you be wanting the baddies. You want no shade because, I was 27 before and it was embarrassing. But, maybe the one that's like, twerking on a handstand at the club on Saturday night. Maybe that's not the best. You know what I mean?
I've tried younger. I've tried older. I've tried my age. I've tried a year older, a year younger. Like I've literally done it all. I dated the last girl I was dating was like, she was like 5 years older than me.
But maybe it's less about age and it's more about character and discernment.
Oh, it's definitely about that because you're right. Age ain't nothing. These
not.
older chicks still be on their funny.
No, facts. People just get older. Everyone doesn't mature. Some people just get older.
Yes.
And you
I
the same.
agree.
You
And
the
you know
same
what's crazy?
age.
You know what's crazy? As crazy as that sounds, I think that's like me right now.
Yeah.
I think I'm just getting older.
You
I don't think I'm like,
You don't think you're maturing?
I don't think I'm maturing. No,
Interesting.
I think
Okay,
a lot of
that's fair.
I think a lot of my actions are like very repetitive.
Interesting. Okay.
Like-
you feel like you're stuck a little bit.
Yeah, like
Okay.
I'm making more money,
Yeah.
and I think my work stuff is a little bit more like consistent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like I'm
Because
still.
you are in your career. You do have an
Yeah.
education, which I think is important. You do live on your own, which I think is important.
Yup.
You do pay your own bills.
Yup.
You're not living with your parents.
Nope.
I think those things are very, especially
and
27 living in New York.
Exact. Those are like
That's-
small goals for like right now.
For
like
a man,
that
for
was
a black
small
man?
goal like 5 or 6 years ago
Yeah.
when I had moved out initially. But again, like I feel like there's another level.
Facts.
I think there's a few more levels, but I feel like there's another level that I'm like almost at that I'm
Yeah.
like I can feel it.
Yeah, so maybe that's the ticket because they say that once you are better within yourself, that's when those things happen. So maybe that's the sweet spot. You attract better when you're more hold.
And
than
that's why
yourself.
I'm not in any rush to be like, yeah,
Facts.
like, you know,
You got
I
time.
feel like I know that. And that's why I'm like enjoying my time just dating and having a good time and doing whatever.
Facts.
Because I know, like you said, when that time comes and I got my situation the way I want it to, it's going to be perfect. I'm going to find the person.
Amen. And that's how we're going to end it. Thank you so much for chatting with me. Anything you're tuning to other people?
No. Just stay positive. Stay positive because you never know what anybody's going through. I think that's the message I want to send out to the people today.
Facts.
Just stay positive.
How can they find you? How can they find you on the Instagram?
Instagram, Mussolini3_. Twitter _MJones35.
Twitter is crazy.
Oh no, get at me on Twitter. I got some good insight for y'all on Twitter. I'm on Twitter for sure. So
Okay.
yeah, get at me on Twitter and yeah, that's it.
Proud of you, black man.
I appreciate you. Appreciate you, cuz.
Love ya.
Love you.
Thank you guys so much for tuning to another episode of Let's Talk About Life with me, Kedra. Tune in next week for another episode. Until then, peace.
Peace.